Hey y'all. Hey. Um, Today, on this episode, Loretta here. Um, I always tell people that my professor in college really told us not to follow Bob Ross's tips. And but here the thing is, when I was uh, a young artist, even before taking art one in junior high. Um, we watched Bob Ross. I mean, continuously. Every time it came on, we would watch him. Um, Most of the time, I don't remember, but just let's see. I came across his art stuff last year, and so I decided to go and copy each of his pictures or each of his paintings in watercolor, and I got up to uh episode 7, I think I got up to. Okay. Um but to get on the point is he does have tips. I went and had the AI come up with some tips, and these are what I'm about to say are art tips inspired by Bob Ross that the AI did for me. And we have two different sets. We have one for the beginner and we have one for the professional artist. And I did this while ago, my brain was thinking this. Okay, here's what we got. Number one is the gentle mindset. Um, the beginners approach the canvas with curiosity, no pressure. Uh, Ross believed mistakes were happy accidents, and the mindset that frees your mind and quiets fear. The professional uses the mindset to unlearn perfectionism. Let one session a week be the no stakes painting where the institution leads. So that's the first thing. The second, since Bob Ross is normally doing wet on wet, which is wet canvas with wet paint, and then your brushes are wet. And it's actually called alla prima. That's the art term for it. So number two is work wet on wet to build confidence. Basically, you're practicing with it. Okay. Uh, the alla prima methods let colors blend softly and naturally. It forgives the idea It's forgiving and ideal for learning how the paint behaves. So even if you're doing watercolor, that's just extra when you got a wet paint on a wet canvas and you're putting more paint on it. And you're kind of making those butterflies and all that other stuff. No, still in number two, but this is the professional one. It says use wet on wet to speed up underpainting or to create atmospheric depths like in landscape portraits or mixed media. Okay, number three, block the big shapes first. That's obvious. We even in art we had to do that. Okay, for the beginners, don't chase details early. Lay down the sky, the land, major shapes with broad strokes. This builds structure without being overwhelming. Okay, the professional uses this to composite compositional reset. So basically, it's a you got composition, so you're doing a reset to your brain. Blocking the shapes quickly helps you evaluate the balance and the rhythm and the storytelling of the picture. Okay, number four, load your brush like you mean it. Okay, so the beginner. Raw signatures, trees, clouds come from fully loading the brush and a timed brush using timid marks. A timid brush makes timid marks. The professional environment envi- experiment will overload and underload to creating intentional textures variations, especially in motif-rich and expressive work. I know, big words, because you really not wanting the big words, but it's doing the big words for the professional. Okay, number 5. Let the brush do the work. For the beginner, instead of forcing the shape, use the natural edge of the brush to form the leaves, the branches, and the highlights. If you actually really think about it and you're watching him, he actually just uses the brush strokes to do everything. Okay, the professional part on 5 is push this further by exploring unconventional tools, like palette knives, sponges, fabric, to get your texture as part of the narrative. That means just your sponge, a kitchen sponge, not the natural sponge, which are pretty expensive, but just and the palette knives and fabric. Well, it's like a scrap of fabric that you got that's all crunchy, and just use it. Um, Even the woven textures, like a sweater, would be a good texture. Okay, number 6. Blend softly, blend softly, whisper light. Okay, for the beginner, use a clean, dry brush to gently blend the skies or soften edges. Think barely touching. So, how he does that wispy stuff. He's just using a clean, dry brush and just blending it in. For the professional, which is us, use whisper blending to control the atmosphere, perspectives, or create transition in the portrait skin tones and abstract gradients. I know, already big words, but I know what the portrait skin tones are. The abstract gradients is like between one shape and another shape, and or that's freeform. All right, number 7. Create depths with simple layering. For the beginners, darker colors recede, lighter colors come forward. Start dark, then add the highlights. That's obvious. Um, for the professional, use this principle to build complex spiral, spatial, no, spatial storytelling, foreground motifs, midground symbols, background memory scapes. Oh no, that got a little complicated. Now these are all Bob Ross's. Now I do go in later during this thing. I go into basically why my professor didn't like it very much, but this is I had to get this out because it was echoing. Um, but my teacher didn't like it. But these are tech inspired techniques for both the professional and the beginner. Okay, let's get back to it. Number 8. Use repetition to build rhythm. For the beginner, repeat shapes, trees, clouds, grasses, build confidence and visual harmony. Okay, for the professional, turn repetition into motif work. Let's repeat marks because part of your signature language, your visual language. So if you have a spiral, just keep putting spirals and everything. Uh, got since I got spiral in my head, there's this visual artist that I've seen, and I mean, you can just go get a coloring book and just use their for the beginner. You can go get a and just use the coloring book and put little swirls and stuff in. Okay, number 9 of Bob Ross inspired uh, tips. Don't fear the knife. Okay, beginners. The palette knife can be used to make the mountains, the bark, and the crisp highlights with surprising ease. Um, for the professional, use the knife for sculpturing the paint, scraping, and mixed media layering that adds dimension to your storytelling. You know what? Do better if you can't afford a palette knife. Use a card. It's just like a palette knife, and you can always cut it, trim it, fix it up the way you want it, and use it. I mean, it's you can use this. Hey, Remus, and use it as a palette knife. Um, okay. I mean, use what you got. I mean, you got a butter knife. Use a butter knife. Ooh, butter knives are really better for palette knives, but they got that curve in it. Okay. Number 10, end with a signature highlight. For the beginners, add a final pop of light, a sprinkle on water, a gilt, a glint on a tree to bring the painting alive. So basically use your highlights. Don't overdo it. Okay, for the professional, use highlights intentionally to guide the viewer's eye. Emphasize narrative and create emotional uh, resilience. So basically, like whenever I'm tilting my head up, if for those that are watching, you can see the highlight on my glasses. So in some of the animes, if you are like me and like to watch animes, that's why they have sometimes the glasses don't are have no eyes. It's a highlight that's in there. Okay, number 11. I think this is the last one. Is this paint what feels like home. Okay, for beginners, choose subjects that feel comforting. You know, like trees from your neighborhood, the sky, your memories. You know, just paint what you know in your style. Don't force yourself to learn all this anatomy and stuff. Not yet until you build up. Okay, for the professional, use Ross's spirit of serenity to deepen your heritage in your roots in storytelling. Let the work honor memory, ritual, and the place. That's what it says. Okay. That's what I got, and then I had it make the AI make a chart, and then I started, and then the next episode, which I don't want to start right now, but I told it that my professor, my professor at college really did not want us at all to follow Bob Ross. You know, his style of of instruction. You know, his wet on wet techniques and stuff. Even though I already had it in my head, and of course he's making money. Okay, so I'll go into more depth into that the next episode. Um, but this is what I got for right now, and I don't forget to subscribe to this. And I know the next one is going to be why professional academic artists might not like these tips. So we'll have to see what that, and that was my cue to go. And I'll see y'all next time. Later.